Hey guys, it's Angie. Today is Tuesday, so I wanted to go over what sold for me last week and see how my sales have been doing, selling mostly items that I got from the Goodwill Bins that other people consider junk. I have been hearing mixed messages about eBay sales. A lot of people are saying they're down, other people are saying they're up. Let's see how they did for me this week. This week, I sold $2,579.03, which if you follow me, you know that is my goal that I try to hit every single week, which is $2,500. So I'm a little above that. I can tell you from my experience, my mom and I have been working a little bit harder to get those same numbers. I'm really hoping that all the effort that we're putting in to list more, it's going to eventually mean an increase in sales. Right now, we're holding steady and I am okay with that. So let's go through some of the interesting items that I sold this week. So I love to start with plush. Anytime I sell cute plush, so let's see what sold this week. Donkey from Shrek sold this week. I picked him up at a little local thrift store, and not the Goodwill Bins, and he was only $1 and he sold right away for $22.45. Anytime you find the bigger plush, he was pretty big, 21 inches long. I do try to pick those up because they seem to do pretty well for me. And he got smushed down into a 12 by 12 by $8 priority mail, so he was only about $11 to ship. And the next one I sold was this cute little Boston Terrier animated or singing plush. If you watch me, you know that I always love to pick these up. Hallmark ones sell really great. He still had his tag on him. He does this little dance and, you know, the I'm sexy and I know it. He sings I'm snuggly and I know it. I'm snuggly and I know it. So he sold for $15.25 and it's after Valentine's Day, but he sold in less than a week. Then I sold this lamb chop. This was an actual vintage 1993 hand puppet and was in really good condition. Of course, he had a couple stains, but you know, mom is the queen of my plush. One of these days she needs to do a video on how she gets them all clean. He had some issues, but she took care of it and he came out looking beautiful. Sold for $19.76. And a little Madeline. She wasn't a lot. We actually had her for quite a while, I think since last summer. I probably picked her up at a yard sale because usually I pick them up for like 25 cents. She's been in there for quite a while, but sold for $9.89. And then the cute little If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. This is dear to my heart because both of my girls absolutely adored this book when they were young, so pulls at the heartstrings. It sold for $11.66 plus shipping. Then, this is not a plush, but this is actually a replacement sound box for a little sheep plush. It is the sounds like, I think there's like 8 different sounds, but a lot of it is heartbeat kind of sounds that you put in a baby crib. Well, sometimes the plush are no good. This plush happened to be beyond repair. It was at the bins. It was utterly filthy. But I knew that the little sound box would probably sell, so I pulled that out and just purchased that. And it sold in under a week for $11.39. So you can even part out things in plush if you see them. So keep an eye out for that. Finally, this American Girl doll sold. I had her listed way too high for $59. Someone after maybe a year offered me $45. And I took it. Now, have I been offered $45 multiple times last year? Oh yeah, for sure. But I was sticking to my guns thinking she was going to sell for over $50. I was wrong. It took forever, but she finally did sell for $45. I did get a message that I forgot her headband, so I need to send that out, but she is sold and they're happy with her, so good. Then I picked up these sea monkeys. I don't know if you saw them when I picked them up a week or so ago. Picked them up at the bins. They weighed a few ounces, so I paid about 50 cents for them. And they sold for $14.36 plus shipping. And I love stuff like that. That's like nostalgic. This is something that was at the Goodwill Bins as well. It is just this little cute warrior doll. It's made out of wood on a little wooden platform. And it came in this cool box. I looked it up with Google Lens because I had no idea what to call it, and this is what it said. I have no Kokeshi doll. Shinjin Kokeshi. Your guess is as good as mine. A little 5-inch tall, but guess what? I listed it using the Google Lens description, and it sold within a few days for $17.95. Not bad for a $1 purchase. I did sell a couple pairs of shoes this week. One I thought that was worth mentioning were these New Balance. They sold for $35.95. They were in great shape, but don't pass up New Balance. I know us older people wear New Balance more than young people, but New Balance definitely still sell. And I showed these shoes because I had never heard of them, and I ran across them multiple times at the bins. They are, I guess, Ilse Jacobson. These ones, they called them tulip shoes because I guess they look like tulips on the front there. They have a really unique bottom. They're really like flexible all the way through them. Anyways, these sell really well for me every time I get them. $35.05, and I think it sold in about 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Anytime I find a series of DVDs that I've never heard of, I always like to pick them up. This was the Kavanaugh QC DVD set. I had never ever heard of this, but when I saw the set, I knew I wanted to pick them up. I paid a few dollars for them at the bins, and they sold for $31.45. I've probably had this item for 6 or 8 months maybe. I picked this up at Crazy Cowboys on their 25-cent day. There was no box. It came just like this. I did not know what it was. Same thing. I Google Lensed it for 25 cents and ends up it's a headlight switch dome override dimmer control switch. I put that on there and it took a long time, but it's super small, didn't take up any room, and it finally sold for $24.74. I did give free shipping, but it was about $4.50 for shipping. I was super surprised to pick this up at the Goodwill Bins. This was an item that I was already standing in line ready to check out, and someone had put it back into the bins, and I looked over and I was like, what is that? Let me go grab it. It was factory sealed, though it did have a rip on the factory seal on the front, which I showed and I explained. But wow, when I saw the comps, I said, I am so happy to get this. And it sold, it took a few weeks to sell, but it sold for $76.46. Great pickup. Actually, this is probably my highest sale of the week, but I listed something else, so we're just gonna go with it. Bobby the Cap Guy always says, bundle all of your items at yard sales when you can. This is one of those times that I actually bundled a whole bunch of things. I picked up all of these little collectible figurines. They were all like from the 50s. A lot of them were left-ins. Most of them were from Japan. I've been selling those steady since last summer. All in all, I paid about 40 cents a piece for them. This one just sold for $17.77, but they're so nice. When I got them and listed them, I wrapped them all and labeled them with a number so that I didn't have to worry about them all breaking. They were able to be stored easily, and we just look for that number. I sell a few every single month, and I've more than made my money back 10 times over on these, so that's great. Dave Ramsey, y'all know that I am a Dave Ramsey follower. I'm all about the debt-free living. And when I saw this, I knew I wanted to pick it up right away. It was the price of a book, so it was 75 cents, and I did sell it for $25.16. In January, I bought some pallets. It was a complete disaster. One of the pallets was an Amazon returns pallet. I paid $800 for it. It was supposed to be the premium one with electronics. I guess this is one of the things that they considered electronic. I did sell it for $33.26. That included free shipping, and shipping was about $12. And a couple months ago, I have bought a bunch of pennants at the Goodwill Bins for $2. The next two are part of that $2 purchase. This is a Niagara Falls one. These are very vintage, like from the 50s or 60s. This one sold for $16.16. And the next one was a Hawaii one, 50th state. This was from the 60s, and it sold for $16.16 as well. Odd number, but that's with a 10% off sale that I was running. I wasn't showing any clothes today, but I was happy to find some cool pants. I never find this brand, so the fact that I found it and it sold right away, I was pretty happy about. $35.05 plus shipping. It sold like in 3 days. Estee Lauder Perfume spray. I love to find perfumes. They usually, some of the vintage perfumes do really well. This one is, I think, an older version. The folks got it. They were thrilled with it. They said it smelled perfect and was packaged really well, so that makes me really happy. I believe I picked it up for $1 and it's over $44.95, so great sale. A lot of people won't pick up Vera Bradley bags because they say there's not great money in them. And while that's true, if you can pick it up for $1, I'm all for it. Now with Vera Bradley, definitely check to make sure there's no wear on the bottoms because they are fabric bags, and if they're not still vibrant colored, don't get them. If they look like they've been washed a bunch of times, people don't want an old looking bag. This one happened to look beautiful still. It's actually brighter than the pictures show here, and it's over $17.05. I'll take that return on investment all day long. So if you're at a yard sale and you see them for $1 or $2, definitely pick them up because they do sell. Another one was this Guess bag. This was actually my sister. She gave it to me, but a lot of times you can find Guess and other bags at yard sales. And this one sold right away, I think in 2 weeks for $26.05. It was in beautiful condition. Condition is everything with bags. So if you find one that's in great condition, pick that thing up. And if you find a bag, a Coach, a Dooney & Bourke, something like that, that's in terrible condition, but there's the key fob on there, take the key fob off and sell that. This one was from a Dooney & Bourke, and it was a little leather hang tag. It's over $14.80 plus shipping. Christmas time, I say this all the time, sells all year long. I bought a bunch of these 90s plastic yard decorations. I think I have 4 or 6 of them left. But I did take a best offer for 2 of them for $30. Now they are longer, so they ended up being 26 inches long. And what I did is I unscrewed the little yard stake and put it behind it so it fit flat perfectly. But at 26 inches long, UPS now charges an overcharge fee. But even with the extra $4 to ship these, it was only $12 because they were super lightweight. Another DVD collection, 6-disc set. Evidently this was an HBO show, Mr. Show. Also never heard of it. But I figure if I haven't heard of it, that's something definitely to look up because I usually find a lot of different things. And I was right, this one sold pretty well for $14.80. I think it took about a month to sell, but I was happy with that price. Parting out kitchen appliances. You know I'm a big proponent of this. I have sold now, this is my 4th part of this Emerald Lagasse air fryer. I've sold a round plastic part, one of the lids, a tongue piece, and now the lid. So I think I am about $80 in profit for something I paid $5 for. And if I would have sold it all together, even it worked fine, I would have probably got about $40 to $50, had a really bulky item that I would have needed to ship out. And instead I end up parting the items out. It makes shipping much easier and I end up making more money. So for me, it's a win. This is something that I have had since last summer. I picked this up for $1 at a yard sale. It's just a Bible challenge game. When I saw it was 1984, I was like, yeah, that might be a good one. I did look it up and there were very few on eBay at the time. It took a while to sell, but it finally did for $20.66 plus shipping. Then my highest, which now I've learned is not my highest, but we're going to go with it, was this Alto's quilt cut cutting system. This is something that I found at my Goodwill outlet. I think I paid $3 or $5 for it. It is a big quilt cutting mat. It's definitely a big box, but it came with everything. It looked in excellent shape. I did list it high because I wasn't sure what to sell it for. I took a best offer of $65 and hey, I am happy with that. I can't remember if I paid $3 or $5 for it, but it was super low. So to get $65 for it, plus it was $24.85 to ship. I was a little nervous about shipping, was super happy it ended up not going to California or Washington or Oregon. It ended up here on the East Coast, which is great. It did go UPS ground. I love UPS ground for these bulkier or heavier items, guys. Give them a chance. If you have not used UPS ground yet, check them out because typically The prices are much, much, much better than you can get for the post office. And honestly, I don't have shipping problems typically with UPS. One time I did, the item eventually got there, but normally they are right on track, unlike the post office, which has lots of issues lots of times. And you know how I always like to end my videos? That's with my lowest price item of the week, because every sale matters. And this is just a little Imaginext little chicken suit man, but he didn't have the chicken suit. It's just the little burger guy. He's a food worker. He was picked up in a little bundle lot of toys that I picked up one day. I was bored and was listing small things while I was watching a movie, and he was one of them. And he sold for $4.90 plus $4.25 shipping. He is so easy. He just went in a little padded, one of my small little padded mailers, and love him. Every sale is important, including this little burger guy. Well, those are the highlights of the week. I try not to show a bunch of clothes and things because clothes are pretty easy. And once you've seen a pair of Talbot's pants, you've seen them all. So don't get discouraged if you sell a lot of clothes, if you don't see a lot of clothes on here. I only just don't show them a lot because the other things are just more interesting. And if I showed you all the clothes that I sold, we'd be here for a while. So keep that in mind. I definitely am selling a lot of clothes, and I'm not selling big high dollar things. I know a lot of people don't like to sell items less than $20, but I sell a whole lot of clothes between $10 and $20. Pretty much all of them, with a few exceptions. So don't let that discourage you. Heck, if you sell 10 clothing items for $10, that's $100 extra you can be making a week towards things you want to buy for your house or debt you want to pay off or whatever. So don't let other resellers or YouTubers discourage you from selling items that work for you. If that's what you can find, sell that. I always find it super interesting to find out what you sold this week, so let me know below what your best item is this week. My goal for the end of April, so it's a couple more weeks, is to get above 3,000 listings. I'm at 2,860. It's more challenging than you think. You think, oh, that's 140 listings. If you're selling between 10 and 20 items a day, you have to list that 20 plus more to keep ahead of how many you're selling. So I'd really like to get above 3,000 listings by the end of this month, and cross my fingers that I can do that. Oh, and I wanted to show you that Ollie got a new Cleveland Browns shirt that he was wearing the other day, so I wanted to show you a picture of him because he's the cutest little Browns fan there is. I'm a Browns fan from childhood, so forgive me. Alright guys, have a great week. Make sure you're listing, taking care of your eBay, but make sure you spend some time for yourself this week and do something positive for your own mental health as well. Alright, have a great week. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!